Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Spilling the Tea Podcast.
Episode 14. This is Kiki,
Haylin,
and Matt.
Period. What is up? Today we have none other than Matt. Only took us 14 freaking episodes. Welcome
I'm
to the
so
club, my
glad you agreed to come on, Matt.
I know. How do you feel about being in our podcast?
Amazing.
Okay, Matt, tell us who you are.
Well, I'm Matt. I'm 16 years old. I'm the co-founder of Spill the Tea Cafe. And it took me 14 episodes to be on this podcast because I've been busy with theater.
That's true.
No, we appreciate your time and, squeezing us into your very busy schedule. Because I know you've been doing a lot of extracurricular activities, and I know that you were just wrapping up the semester at school. So thank you. I appreciate that. Can you please tell me a little bit more about this whole Spill the Tea Cafe idea? When did that happen?
Well, I think I actually first had it in elementary school, and it was just a cool idea I thought I had that I told my parents about, and then my mom kept meeting with this businessman. I forget his name already.
Uncle Daniel.
Uncle Daniel.
He's a friend from middle school.
Yeah. Sorry, I was blanking. And then he told us to go for it. And then my mom started putting in the execution, and so did I.
And did you come up with the name, the concept? Is Spill the Tea Cafe what it is right now, what you wanted it to be, back then?
No.
Or what was the idea of it?
He said no.
It's not.
Said no.
We're working on it.
Okay, well, tell us more.
Spill the Tea Cafe was originally designed to be an actual cafe. Like
with pastries and everything?
Yeah.
Shit. Okay.
A full-blown cafe with therapy available in the same building so that people would be able to hang out and then also have therapy in the same place. Obviously, Spill the Tea has integrated to be more of a teen-centric mental health clinic, but honestly, I'm really glad for where it has come. And
Amazing.
But tell them why we don't have I don't know, all the
Okay, I'll spill the
pastries
tea.
and all. Do you know what I mean? Because we tried to in the beginning.
the food permits.
Yeah,
That's why.
the food permit that requires Spill the Tea Cafe to have a 3-compartment sink that costs over $3,500. So if you're a donor that's watching this video and you would like to donate a 3-sink compartment, you're more than welcome to drop it
But
off at Spill
also
the
a
Tea.
kitchen. We're still working
Yeah.
on that part to have a full kitchen. Requires a lot of permitting and a lot of, what else?
A lot. So
Hygiene.
yeah. Well, it's just it
space that we
requires
don't
the
currently
space.
have.
Yeah.
Because we're already taking up so much room for the clinicians.
Right.
Yeah.
But I definitely don't want to lose focus of your vision, Matt. And I do know that we are going to get there one day where we have full therapy services and full cafe.
Well, I think
When we reach
the
your
vision has
dream.
evolved. I think
Right.
it's a lot more about the community that you could build through it. And I think that was the most important part. And we definitely achieved that. I mean, we're still doing it. We're still wanting to build more of a community. But within these only, 2
2 years.
2 years, there is so many kids that I know have met each other through the cafe, that I've met through the cafe. So many people I know it already has helped. And I think that was the most important part.
Oh, that's so cute. Do you think it was so crazy that one day that mom walked in and she was like, yeah, it's happening. We're going to do it. We're going to send it in the middle of the pandemic.
That was pretty crazy. Yeah.
I thought she
And
was
then-
insane.
And then
I was
we just started renting that place, and it was a wreck.
Shout
Oh
out
my
Kanai.
gosh, yes, it was.
Oh my
I know, Mama
God.
just took out $100,000 loan and then said, let's start building this
I remember
place.
getting the text. I was in my 8th grade English class or something,
Really?
and you're like, "We took out the grant, or we
Or
took
the
out the
loan,
loan,"
wow.
and I was like, "Guys,
You're like, oh,
Yeah, I
shit just
remember
got
that
real.
day too. I was just minding my own business, being a nanny, and Haylin was like, "Should I do this?" I'm like, yeah, that should be enough. We should be good. And then we're like, actually, we run out of that money. So what are we gonna do?
We ran out
But
of that
I'm
money
very
quick.
happy, very
Yes.
quickly. I mean, we did have to do a lot of renovations, and
You
you know,
did
at
that.
Spill the Tea Cafe, we pay our employees pretty well.
Oh my
Yeah.
God!
So
Shout
I
out
can
to
see why.
Grace.
Shout out
I know.
to Grace.
Shout out to Grace.
Shout out to Petra.
Petra.
Yes,
They helped a
Miranda,
lot.
Elizabeth.
Even
Hi.
Hallie.
Hallie, Jay.
Hallie, oh my God, that girl was out there painting those walls.
What I mean is these kids were literally, it's low-key like child labor though. Like how
DOL,
much-
please don't come for
how
us.
much-
It's a joke. It's a joke.
They did painting, they did construction. They were there every day. Thank you guys so much.
Shout out Reese.
Reese was
Jay.
barely there.
I have pictures.
Be
You
so
were
for real.
there.
Be so for real.
He was there.
Be so for real.
I remember him building the, what is it called? Those gaming chairs. That's it.
Oh
That's
my
all
God.
I saw.
But I did like most of that. He got lost like halfway through.
I know.
I
And
was,
then
done
like-
with one chair already. He was still building that. I was like, what are you doing, dog?
I remember one day when you guys were building that, I was like, where's Maddie? And I was like looking for you. And you were like, just hiding in that box. Do you remember that day?
Oh my
You're, like
God.
hiding in the
It was
chair
such a big
box.
box.
I have pictures of that. But it's
Share
so...
your journey, Matt. Like a little bit.
Whoa.
She said no.
Like share a little
We
bit
are
about.
done
No, no.
reminiscing.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
let's talk about, you know, how Spill the Tea Cafe, you know, really we opened this space to make it an inclusive safe space for all kiddos, but it kind of started shifting towards more like LGBTQIA,
It's true,
and that does had to do a lot with who you are and who you identify yourself as. If we wouldn't have your image and the kids wouldn't be able to see someone like you that successfully was able to open a clinic like Spill the Tea Cafe, we probably wouldn't be servicing these kids. So would you mind sharing a little bit or as much as you want about who you truly are?
I'm Matt.
Mad, period. He said, I'm mad. Take it.
Well,
I can break the ice.
Also,
Give me an
well,
ice, I'll
I
break
think-
it.
So the organic growth of the cafe has now shifted where we have more LGBTQ kids than non-LGBT kids. But I want to emphasize that we are inclusive, meaning we welcome all kids.
okay. So, am I supposed to talk?
Yes.
What about?
Okay.
Just about your journey.
Okay.
So everyone
Yeah.
that
No,
has
sorry,
been
you got
following us-
sidetracked. I got sidetracked.
Yeah.
No, everyone that has been following us know that not mom, but Haylin is a parent of a transgender kid, and everyone has heard Matt, but they finally are able to put the face to the name. So would you
So-
mind telling more
So,
about that? Spill the
Um,
tea.
I'm Matt. I wasn't born Matt, but you don't get to know what my other name was.
He's always been Matt. I'll
It's a
fight
secret. I think it's really funny that you named me after a Disney princess, though. I will say that.
He's our king.
That's what happens when you get pregnant at 25.
Exactly. No, I was 23.
Oh!
I think I was 23. Give birth
Well,
24.
the tea has spilled, and your math ain't mathing.
My bad.
How
my
come you
bad.
be like scoring 100% on your math test?
Oh, good
and
job,
you don't
Matt.
know like your
Because I thought
age
she
against your
told me 25 at some
Yeah.
point, and I just had that in my head since. Did you like graduate at 25?
I
Like
don't-
college?
Damn, I'm like graduate high school at 25.
No, college.
like from
I
your
think-
MSW.
I don't know. No. But maybe undergrad. Yeah,
Okay,
maybe
okay.
undergrad.
Anyway,
yeah.
so yeah, I'm transgender. I think I came out 7th, 8th grade.
You first came on the 5th grade.
Oh, well, I came out as bi in the 5th grade,
Yeah,
which I still am. Shout out,
by
boyfriend.
people. Oh,
Hi.
Yeah, okay, so you came out as bisexual in the 5th grade.
I did. I was a girl, and I was like, Mom, I like girls and boys. And I'm 10 years
Period.
old.
how did you know?
I had crushes on girls.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I was like,
I remember your first
Don't say
crush.
the name, Kiki. You be
I'm
always saying the name.
I'm not gonna say the name.
Okay.
But I remember your first. Don't say that.
Oh, I really loved your first boyfriend. Loved him though too. Remember him?
I
Shout
do.
out.
Shout out his sibling too.
Oh, I
You're
love
cool
you.
as hell.
Yeah.
Oh, she's sweet.
Love her.
But I remember
Yeah.
picking you up from
Them.
school, and I don't know, I think it was like the end of school, like the end of the semester before summer, and you're like spilling the tea, and you're like, yeah, and I'm talking to this person, blah blah blah, and you said the name, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, but she
I
turned out to
think
be
he just
psycho.
came out. I know, I remember that.
Anyway,
Gay girls
moving
be
along.
crazy sometimes.
And I was like, oh, Maddie just came out, and it was like very natural. You didn't even have to like sit me down and tell me.
Oh yeah, no, I had to sit you down and
Yeah.
tell you. And you're
When
like,
did you know you were a boy?
oh, when I first came out as non-binary, I didn't even know. I was
Mhm.
like, no, I can't be, because what even is gender?
Right.
So I'm not gonna say that.
Right.
Also, because my mom really likes having a girl.
That's why she has
Aw.
Myelin. I wish you would have seen her 2 episodes ago.
Oh my
that girl,
God.
oh my god.
Maya loves you so much.
I love Maya so much. Everyone loves Maya.
Oh
But
my God. You know what she said on the podcast?
What?
Which was low key embarrassing. She said, oh, I'm pretty.
she is pretty.
I know, but
We were like, so why would you tell like other
Or-
siblings? And she was like, well, be pretty. And I'm like, that's it. So if you're not, you
Dog.
can only be a good sibling if you're pretty.
Just
like
be pretty.
I know. I'm like, how
Dog.
petty.
Oh my
But-
God.
Maya's our 5-year-old.
Yeah. What were you? Oh, yeah. I came out as non-binary first, and I was like, well, I still like things that I feel like are kind of girly. So,
So
I'm-
wait, what does non-binary means?
Some people
It's-
don't know.
oh, my bad, guys.
Imagine not knowing what non-binary is.
Imagine not knowing the coolest people on the face of planet Earth. Anyway,
Period.
stereotypically, they make very good coffees. Did you guys know that?
Oh, maybe I am
No.
non-binary. I always get
Kiki, you're
compliments on my
not.
coffee. Who are you to tell me that I'm not
Oh
non-binary?
my God.
Haven't we been preaching about do not tell the
Let
other
me explain what
person?
non-binary even is. It's just outside of the gender norms of
Yeah.
boy and girl. So it can either be like a combination or completely different. A lot of the times I hear people like to use colors as a metaphor. So like a girl would be pink, boy would be blue, and the non-binary could be like yellow or purple, depending on how the person feels, right? So I was like, I'm not a girl, but I don't want to be a boy because that's icky, because boys are gross. Duh. And also I
He
think,
said, duh.
duh, boys are gross. But also just being raised in like, I would say our family is more matriarchal than patriarchal, right?
Shout out Nanai Tutu.
Shout out Nanai Tutu. So I was raised like with a very like girl power in my heart. Like I don't really want to let that go yet. It was, I think a big part of growing up was being a girl and connecting through girlhood, and admitting that I was a boy is just kind of losing a big part of that. Like, you know, girls' day and girls' night out and
It's true. I never thought about
all that. And it's like, yeah, no, I've like cried about it. Like I'm never gonna grow up and like, I don't know, be my brother's older sister. I'm never gonna be your oldest daughter. I'm never gonna be my grandma's great granddaughter anymore. We're not gonna have that special connection that a daughter and mother would. I mean, a son and mother is like, it's not the same, you know? Like there's gonna be certain things where we just can't connect on anymore as just being different in that way.
Right.
And that was another thing I really didn't want to let go. So being non-binary kind of helped me keep the peace of, well, I feel really bad about my gender, but I don't have to fully transition. I can still keep a big piece of girlhood, and a lot of people will still be able to see me as like a girl. And so maybe I can just like settle with that. But I couldn't settle with that because it doesn't feel good to
Because
like,
that you're a boy.
because I'm boy,
Yeah.
because I'm a man, because I have, you guys know the meme? I have purse.
No.
Oh God,
See, Kiki's not as young as we thought.
it's okay. It's just this girl.
I'm just spending too much time with your mom.
It's
so I
just
don't
this
know.
girl mispronouncing the
are.
phrase "I have a purse," and she says "I have purse," and then everyone just like makes fun of her for forgetting the A. So it's
Okay.
just like,
I'm sure all of the Gen Z folks are like laughing about this, and we're
I just
like,
boy. I'm just teenage boy in this world.
Yeah.
And so
When did you accept yourself as a boy? Like, you know how you talked about the girlhood thing?
I think after realizing that you guys could take me being non-binary like as well as you did,
So it was kind of like testing the waters?
it was kind of like testing the waters because
That makes sense.
I didn't fully accept myself then, but it was also like part of it was we don't want to talk bad about my mother because she's a great supportive ally, but
Well, you
she's
can
had
t- you
a
can
lot
still
of
talk bad
she's
about
had a
it.
lot of growth since
Yeah.
5th grade when
true.
I first came out.
Don't tell. Are you gonna? How much are you gonna tell them?
Spill the
I'm not.
tea.
No,
Just
I'm not
tell
gonna
them.
say what you
Just
said.
tell 'em.
No, I don't want to say that. So I was a little worried for my second coming out. But
I'm coming out.
after all the growth she went through,
So much growth.
Might as well just sit on my lap.
I was able to kind of accept myself and then realize that other people also will be able to accept that. And it was going to be fine, like there isn't going to have to be too much stress. Well, actually, there's a lot of stress being trans, to be honest.
How did
but,
you
I'm gonna,
decide to
I'm gonna
forgive
reach over
us?
here
Get your drink.
and grab a root
No,
beer.
wait, I have a question.
What?
So I'm assuming that when you first came out, that's some moist. I'm assuming that when you first came out, you were, I'm assuming like worried and scared, like, oh my gosh, like what if my parents don't accept me? What if they disown me? How did it feel when you realized that that was not the case and that we actually supported you?
Actually, my second coming out, I think, was like less overwhelming. It was a lot more underwhelming. It was kind of like you didn't take it super well. I remember like me being non-binary, but you definitely didn't take it as like far as when I first came out as bi. Like the initial reaction was kind of just okay, and then after that it was just like a really big learning curve.
Yeah.
So
a lot of research.
So all of the reaction actually came just through just through changing the way I present myself.
Right.
And it wasn't really, there was no real reactions at the initial coming out. But then even after that, there was a lot of growth for you. And I think for Uncle and for the whole family, actually.
Yeah.
And then realizing that I didn't want to like have the voice I had, and I didn't want to have like the look I had. I just wanted to be straight.
You wanted to be
I look like a boy. I want people
Mm-hmm.
to see me as a boy. And I was like, oh man, so maybe I just feel like a boy.
Mm-hmm. Like just matching inside outside type of thing, or
Yeah, it just was just like it still sucks a little bit when people will still see me like so girlish, and even non-binary just didn't satisfy whatever hatred I had growing in me. And it was like, I don't know what it is. I don't know why I hate people dressing me so much. It's 'cause boy.
what about? Oh, go ahead, Kiki.
Are you in any are you in any treatment that brings you closer to being a man? Like,
They shoot me up every other week.
Maddie, what does that even mean?
They give me hormones in my thighs like a chicken.
Like a chick? Oh my god!
You know, like GMOs?
GMOs. Okay, I see.
No,
and
I take HRT, which is hormone replacement therapy, because I was assigned female at birth. I naturally have like estrogen production, whereas males would have the testosterone production, and that happens in the testicles. But because I don't have testicles, they have to get a needle and put it really deep in my thigh muscle and put in a measured amount of testosterone that doctors talked about and know is healthy for my age and weight and height and all the medical stuff. And it was a process to get there, and you have to like prove you're trans to like a bunch of different people, and they have to talk to your family, they have to talk to people around you, they have to talk to you, and they have
How
to
do
be
you
like,
feel about all that? Like all that whole entire experience, and we're still on. Like, how do you feel about it? Like personally,
personally,
how's it been?
I I think I was really impatient to get on HRT because I really, really hated my voice. That was the worst thing. I also didn't like getting a period, but it wasn't as important to me as
Mm.
like my voice because that's something that people notice about you immediately is how your voice sounds. And so being insecure about something that, you know, that builds connections with everyone, that introduces yourself, that's kind of people's first impression of you. Um, it kind of just sucked, and I really, really wanted it to match a little bit more with how I felt.
Yeah.
But I do think it's important to have a process because I do think that there are some people who might need to make sure that they know what they're about to get into. And so I think the long process just ensures that everyone is aware of what's going to happen and the changes that are going to happen to your body because it is a process and it's a long one. And it does take proving yourself to a lot of people. And I know that can feel really demanding and sometimes a little like dehumanizing, but I do think it's important, especially for minors, to go through that process because there is a lot of times where people may not be as informed as they think they are with the decisions they're making. And it's really important to hear all of the effects and side effects, the things that you really do want and some of the things you might not want that are going to happen to your body if you decide to take this thing. And there are some things that are irreversible with certain treatments. Like with puberty blockers, those are 100% reversible. And so I
Oh,
don't,
so it's not the same.
it is not the same. No, puberty blockers just block puberty from happening. So
Mhm.
like it would, if I were to take it before I started my period, I just wouldn't have my period until I got off of them. But my voice would also not lower, you know? But so I don't think it's as important to be like on people's asses for puberty blockers as HRT because there are some things with HRT that are irreversible, and with any like irreversible changes to your body such as tattoos, piercings, or anything like that, I do think it's important that we are a little extra careful with minors because just naturally their brains are a little bit more mushy. But you know, it's also important to acknowledge that this isn't like an argument against minors being on HRT. I'm on HRT and I have felt a lot better on it. It's just acknowledging that the process I went through might be necessary for people just to double check that everyone is aware and what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
So what happens to the teens that or kiddos that don't have supportive parents that can support them through a transition, consent for it?
I have a lot of those kids actually, where the parents won't allow them to medically transition. It does create a lot of problems for them. What do you think happens?
Uh, well, sometimes they're able to get their hands on hormones through alternative means, and they'll do something where they take enough for them to feel some of the effects of the hormones, but not enough for other people to really see how much hormones they're taking. But, of course, getting your hands on any type of substance through shifty means is a little bit dangerous. And
Which did you know LGBTQIA plus kids have the highest risk for like substance use
yeah, I did. You're my mom.
and suicidality and
Yeah, I did.
houselessness?
We opened this clinic together.
That translates to my mom is a therapist, and I know it all.
We did
But
these
no,
statistics
I'm just
together.
saying it's educational because people don't realize like, oh, they're gonna do drugs or they can find a way to do drugs and they're gonna find a way to also get tea.
Teens are able, anyone actually is able to find anything now, especially with the technology we have. And
It's so sad and so dangerous.
it's almost
Gosh.
impossible to keep people away from the things that they're going to want to do, especially in today where you can just kind of look up, where do I get X and X and X? And maybe the top 5 results will be like, you should not do this. And then after that, you keep scrolling and you're like, there's cocaine, you know?
Wow, Google.
Dang,
Google
really
be
tell us how it
Googling.
is. I mean, I guess it's just high school, you know?
No, but that is really important because like Haylin said, like this is not news to us. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like we see
Well, her
this
face
at
said
Spill It Tea.
otherwise.
Well, that was a surprise.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
Dang, I didn't know it was that easy to grab like that.
Well, I
on the
don't know,
internet.
like, personally, but I'd
yeah,
assume.
but you hear.
No, and I'm sure you hear it, you know, from
Or
other
you just
peers.
find people.
Yeah.
And it's not that hard anymore.
It's not that hard anymore.
What are
to
some of the
find.
challenges that you've noticed when it comes to be a part of the LGBTQIA, specifically transgender and the mental health?
Get sad.
Community?
Yeah, well, just like the barriers. What have
Like-
been some challenges? Like maybe you go to a provider and they really don't get what it is to be transgender. I remember, of course, not disclosing anything, but I was talking story with one teen one day, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I went to my therapist, and she was straight. She didn't quite understand what transgender was, and he was female assigned at birth, but he's male." And the therapist would tell him like, "Oh, get over it, like you're a girl." You know what I mean? Like that. Like what are some of
That's
the barriers
wild.
with those providers that don't quite get the LGBTQIA whole thing?
I don't want to drink any more root beer.
You don't have to. You gassy?
I don't know. I got like the hiccups. I think just like people not really understanding. Honestly, I found a really good therapist. He's chillin', and
Shout out Mr. Mister.
Can you not?
I just said Mr. Mister. Nobody knows, you know.
you know, I'll see you Thursday.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I had to reschedule.
He said, "I'm a busy boy."
It was
with
my brother's
theater."
birthday.
Oh, yeah, where you turn.
I forgot
Oh.
about it when I scheduled that appointment. So then I had to text you the day of and be like, "Hi."
Oh,
I'm
so
sorry.
naughty.
Refocus, y'all.
No, but I'm talking.
Okay.
Hopefully he watches this.
He better.
Yeah, but yeah, no, definitely you are very well. I don't want to say you're very lucky to have a provider like him because I mean that's like the bare minimum. I feel like every kiddo
He
that
is not the bare minimum. He is my homie.
No, I'm saying that. Oh my God, you're not the bare minimum. If you're watching this, you know you always go above and beyond. What I'm saying is that that's the bare minimum. Like every single LGBTQIA kid that wants to be connected to a provider, like this provider should be knowledgeable on the topic. That's why I think it's so important that everyone that we hire at Spill the Tea Cafe
Is
highly
trained.
knows.
Yeah.
Yes, highly knows what it is to work with this demographic.
Trained by yours truly.
Yes, and I was gonna say if they're not trained, it's fine because she requires a training and she will make sure you're there for 3 days until you get it.
I've been at those trainings. My God. Shout out to those interns and
All of our
and all
interns.
Shout
of
out
the
to our interns, they're
clinicians.
amazing.
My God, I could not sit through that. I mean, I love you, Mom,
I know.
but oh my God, you have some like grit. You just sit there and you take notes for hour upon hour upon hour about like twirling your hair, and it's crazy.
Yeah, and that's why I think so many interns that come through Spill the Tea Cafe to do their practicum and want to work with LGBTQIA, I think that's why they end up staying because they know the quality of your mom's training, and they know that if they continue staying at Spill the Tea Cafe, they are going to become the best therapists in the state. Shout out to HTTC, Hawaii Training.
I lied about the root beer.
What is it called? Hawaii Training Therapist Center. Something like that. But oh my gosh, Maddie, thank you for being here. We're so happy. I can't believe that we finally made it happen. Do you want to share any words of encouragement for any teen or kids that may be seeing us?
Gets better and then it gets worse and then it gets better again.
Right.
And it just goes in a loop. I think everyone should learn about morality and ethics. That's my thing. I think it's really important and more people should know about it. And within the mental health community, I think that people should be able to get help a lot more easily than they do. Those are my closing words. I think those are my most wise words.
Do you have any solutions, even ideas, even if it's just a dream? Like, where do you think we can actually improve the mental health system?
I think where the mental health system fails the most is how it deals with functioning and non-functioning people with mental illness, where the non-functioning people are non-functioning and they're already at their lowest lows. And then the treatments that they can be put in are so 50-50 that you'll have so many people come out of them with either horror stories or I got a little bit better and then I got out and then I got worse again because they didn't teach me the actual coping skills I needed and then I became non-functioning again. And then the functioning people have stories of, well, I was dealing with a lot, but because I was still able to go to school, they weren't able to do anything about it until I got worse. And I was
Right.
outright told I would need to be worse before I was able to get the help that I felt like I needed, even though I went to get help so that I wouldn't get worse. And so
Right.
I think that's where it really fails, is that the only thing the mental health system I think is really focused on is taking actively suicidal people, making them not actively suicidal, and then
And then
putting
saying good
them
luck.
and then go like bye bye
Figure
bye
it
bye.
out.
I'll see you in a month
When
because
you're
I didn't teach
suicidal
you anything.
again,
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
I think what Matt is talking about, which, oh my gosh, wow, Maddie, thank you for teaching me something. It's like prevention. We're not focused on prevention in mental health,
No, we're
right?
focused on, okay, you're gonna get suicidal. You can come here when you're suicidal. You're suicidal right now. Here, I'll bring you here, and then I'll let you out when you're not gonna kill yourself in 2 hours.
And then let me discharge you to the exact same environment that you
Yeah.
came to us in.
Like let's not teach you any long-term coping skills. We're just gonna keep you in an area with other suicidal people and be like, we'll do art therapy for 13 hours.
Right.
And then now you have to go back and have a job and have a life and take care of yourself and like shower your dog and stuff, you know.
And again, it's hard because I understand that it's understaffed. There's not enough resources. There's not enough funding. We can go on and on, like a whole episode of like why this is happening, but also community mental health can be and is the answer at Spill the Tea Cafe. We want to make sure that there's so many different wraparound services, not just for super actively suicidal people, right? When we talk about being discharged out of a hospital, can we make sure that you have either a different therapist, a different medication? Can we make sure that you have some kind of support, maybe an extracurricular activity? Can we see if there's anyone in the school that can also help you, right? And then as we are able to build support systems around you, that's when we can really see kids thrive. And that's when we can really see a transformation for that child and the whole family. But again, without that, of course, they're not going to get better. Of course, they're going to, cycle back into the system. So thanks for pointing that out, Matt. And also for any mental health practitioners out there, let's all join forces so that we can, if we come together, we can prevent these things from happening. It's absolutely possible. And I think that we are a strong possibility model for that. How many kids, Kiki, have you seen get better?
400
Oh.
and counting.
No, I mean, how many kids have you seen really like be suicidal and come back and you see them thriving now?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
And
Many
a lot of
them.
people think, oh, these kids are just
Statistics.
Yeah, and they're just a lost cause and they have mental issues. It's just so untrue. We see so many kids who are thriving now, and I just want to continue that. But it's not going to happen without therapists and the leaders of mental health industry changing themselves.
There
Maddie,
is
oh,
hope. There is
sorry.
more, sorry. There's more than the statistics we have because we're focused on giving new and, reinvented forms of therapy and forms of therapy that we know that will work and forms of support that we know that will work instead of just the half-ass that sometimes comes out of the mental health community, and it's only because there are so few mental health providers and they're all so burnt out. But here, our workers are burnt out and they're still going along, working their best, and I don't know how they do it. They come home and they go, and they watch a documentary on the couch, and it's honestly awesome. But just know, because I know there are a lot of people who are like, well, I fit into this demographic, and look at all these statistics of these people, and I don't know, is it really worth it? Because there's just all these things saying that the world's pitted against me. But know that there are things that are coming that are going to help you and that you're going to get better and things are going to be okay. Things are going to get worse again, but what matters is that when they get worse, they're not as bad as your worst was. They're going to get better, then they're going to get worse, they're going to get better, and the betters are going to keep getting higher, and so are the worses. So it's just going to be like, and then that's how your life is going to be until
Yeah, but I
eventually-
like how it's still
It continues
going
to
that
increase,
way.
going
Like
up.
it's, you know what I mean? The trajectory, like how you described it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I like that.
because that's how it goes, and then there's going to be dips sometimes, but that's just life. Like, if there was no pain in your life, you would never be able to appreciate all the good things that happen. And so just know that there are going to be good things in your life, and you just need to stick around for them, and they're going to feel so much better when you have those short periods of time where everything is okay, because everyone's life has the periods of time where everything is bad, but then there's also the periods of time where everything's all right, and then there's the periods of time where everything is just nirvana, and you need to stick around for the time where you get to experience that, and then the next time you get to experience that, and the next, and the next, and the next, until you naturally meet your peace.
Do you have any last
Wow.
words for your mom?
Such a
Whoa.
philosopher. I love that. It's true though.
Last words for my mom?
Well, it wasn't before we end this episode.
Am I meeting
'cause-
my peace, guys? Jesus Christ. That was so
No,
ominous.
I was just trying to make it deep, but I guess not anymore.
Maddie, you have any other words to maybe a kid who might be struggling right now through their transition?
Oh,
Or
thank you.
just being LGBT.
Wow, you guys really said screw Kiki. No words for mom. It's okay.
Well,
you don't
no,
have
I
to.
have-
We can say it offline.
No, I'll say my...
Oh, okay, yes.
Hi, Mom. I love you so much.
Hola.
My boyfriend calls me a mama's boy, and I thought that was funny.
That's cute.
I've never told you that, but I thought you should know.
That's a flex.
Because I
low-key.
am my mama's boy. And never not gonna be.
No,
I love you a lot.
I love you too.
I don't know if you know, but I really do appreciate everything you do. And I think every dedication I have needs to go to you, because you've done a lot to make sure that I am living the life I am living. And even though I have some struggles, you know, I am super privileged, and I would not have a fraction of the privilege I do if you didn't do like 110% every single day. Even before I was born, you were doing 110%. You came so far just to make me like live the life of, you know, like Minnie.
Oh, Minnie, we love Minnie. The best puppy, has the best life. We're all envious of Minnie's life.
They take
Shout
her
out
out.
Jay and Uncle
Minnie.
They
Sike.
took her out to like 5-star Michelin, like these restaurants, and she's just like, she has like this like look in her eye where she's like, I don't know what's going on.
She only eats gourmet chef like food.
Like we dog
She has
sit
a
her and we
pink
have to like
tail
we have to like cook
always.
turkey. I'm like, I've never cooked turkey for myself, dog.
Yes, we
Oh
love Jay.
my
This is
God.
Matt's friend Jay's dog that we get to babysit. But okay, amazing,
Guys, that's
amazing.
a wrap. Probably your longest episode. Maddie, once again, thank
Because
you
I'm so interesting.
for meeting us. You are. And honestly, people have been waiting for this episode.
We should do an
Jasper's
episode.
gonna compete with you.
What?
Like what I'm saying. is
Jasper
he's-
can't win. I made this
Ja-
place.
I know, but Jasper's like totally
Jasper.
the face of Spill the Tea.
What the
Like,
hell?
all the kids are like, when is Jasper coming home? Right?
Well, yeah, that's just because Jasper's like an adult.
When is let me ask you last question, promise. Are you gonna be joining Jasper's Transcend group this summer?
Jasper,
Please say yes.
Jasper, I love you, man. We got matching tattoos, Jasper. But
Oh wow. But no. Maddie's busy with stuff.
I have my chemistry class. Like
Okay,
I'm
that's
taking chemistry
important.
over the summer.
That's important. Do
And
that.
like
No,
I'm
his
so-
group is on Saturdays.
on Saturday.
Mhm.
But
At
then
one.
that means
Saturday-
that
Saturdays at
I'm hanging out with my boyfriend.
well
Period.
or Reese.
Yeah.
Hi Reese.
Shout out Reese.
Cause that means that my whole weeks are still gonna be like school.
Okay, well,
Okay, all
anyway,
good, all
we can
good.
discuss offline Matt's schedule because
Yeah.
he's a very
busy
busy
boy.
businessman. So
Okay.
if you guys want to stay in touch, please follow us on
Oh, my hair looks
Instagram.
whack. Has it
Spill
looked whack this
underscore
entire
the
time?
Tea Cafe.
Like it,
Maddie, what's your
it's
website?
Spillthetea.org.
Spilltheteacafe.org.
Oh my god, I meant to say
Wow.
cap. That was like
It's all
a
good.
Freudian slip.
Okay,
Yeah,
try.
and if you want to send us an email,
Guys,
Send
we
us an
should
email.
do an episode on
info@spilltheteacafe.org.
morality.
Okay, let's do it. I'm sure the kids would love it. Okay.
Okay, guys,
Look out
that's
for
a
that.
wrap. Thank you.